I'm wandering up the river at Gress today, and it's looking pretty good. If anything, a shade too high maybe, but I'm going to give it just a quick throw. I don't have long, literally an hour. Maybe a cup of tea, a banana and a few casts. And I think maybe the last time I made a video up on these pools, I caught a salmon out of this one ahead of me. So I'm going to put the fly through them quickly, see if I can do any business. This is really just a scouting mission because I haven't been on these pools last year. So I thought I'll come and take a wee look. And then I'll be away with my banana, my cup of tea in me. And that'll do me for the day. And then tomorrow maybe I can work on other plans. Now, this bit here involves a bit of judicious mountaineering. You see, because if you don't judiciously mountaineer, you end up extremely sunk and wet. But gotta say, that's looking pretty good. So I'll go up to the top and start and come down. The fish are probably down here, so I guess I want to leave my net about here maybe, on the basis that anything I get I'll probably not run up. And we'll give it a wee throw. So I'm fishing the black and silver conehead on an intermediate tip, but quite a short leader, so I'm not really down that deep, you know, because it's quite a stony, you know, these spady rivers. You don't want in pools like this to be down too far, you know. And I'm just going to fish down fairly quickly. See if I can maybe move something. My guess today has to be that if there's anything in here, it'll be down towards the tail. But again, who knows, you know? But I'll keep moving down. So if there's fish lying in here today, I would be expecting to get into the sort of area where they might be, you know. Because I would expect them to be down here in the tail when the water's so high, you know. Just seems to make for an easier life for them, you would imagine. And maybe I'm wrong, don't know much about these things, but if I were a salmon, that's where I'd be. I can't really cast over my left shoulder at all, but it's just with the rushes and stuff here, it's the easiest way to lift the fly off the water sometimes. Otherwise, you end up hooked in the rushes pretty much. There are good numbers of sea trout in Gress this year, but they're proving hard to find and catch. When people find them, they are getting fish. But they're pretty much spread out across the saltings and the river. Just get rid of that. So I think what I'll do now is move on down a pool and see if there's anything for me in the pool below, because this doesn't look overly hopeful in that I think I've put the flies through it as much as I can reasonably do. As much as I can reasonably expect to be effective, you know. So, let's move on down a pool. So I've moved down to the wee pool now. Again, it's another one of these great pools in a wee spate river. You know, there's fish usually in it, but getting them out isn't always easy. And sometimes it's empty, you know. If you haven't seen my videos before, this water is run by Gress Angling Association, and you can get day tickets or season tickets should you wish for the river. And also there's a saltings area downstream which is tidal and which can produce fish, especially off the big, you know, spring and neap tides, even when there's very little water. So it provides, obviously this river is small and spatey, you know, it fishes when there's rain, basically. And the saltings then can provide fishing when there's no rain. And of course, the two things are kind of complementary in the sense that when there's no rain, the fish tend not to run the river, which means they tend to hold in the saltings. So it's a kind of win-win situation for the angler. And if there's water, you can come up here as I've done today, and if there's no water, you can then hit the saltings, especially off the tides, with a good chance of a sea trout and possibly a salmon. The salmon are harder to get on the saltings, just by the nature of it, but the sea trout can be quite catchable down there, and like any sea trout, they come and go, so some days you can do really well, and other days in very similar conditions you can struggle to find a fish. So again, I think I've fished this about as much as I can reasonably fish it, and time to make my way down to the pool below again and see if I can't move something out of it. It's a bigger pool, so there's a bit more fishing in it, but even so, I have to guess that the fish will be down at the tail of it, you know. So let's get moving. So this is me down on the big pool now. I guess it's called that because it's bigger than the small pool. Or maybe the small pool's called the small pool because it's smaller than the big pool. Now you see which came first, chicken and egg. But nonetheless, it's a great pool. Always has fish in it, especially down towards the bottom. And I'm gonna give it a quick cast down, and then I might retreat for some banana and tea, and then maybe give it another run down if I can at that time, you know, depending on how things pan out for me. Just so I've given it a good chance. I'm currently still on like a black and silver cone head, and as you can see, I have no over my left shoulder type casting abilities. Oh, well, that was a wee pluck. I've got to guess it was a wee tiny trout or something. Though, I don't know. But yesterday, that's the way the salmon were taken. Looks to be a shower of rain coming. I'm wearing my waterproofs, which is, you know, very unusual, but the showers were coming so fast and they were coming so heavy today. They're just like a wall of water, and it just washes over you and then goes away again. So I thought I'll start with the waterproofs on, you know. That's neat. And I can remove them if necessary, but I just haven't bothered removing them yet. And it does look like another shower's coming, though it doesn't look as heavy. It looks more mizzly sort of stuff than this wall of water type stuff that we've had all day. Well, when I say all day, we've had about 3 or 4 of them. Had one just as I arrived here, and there seems to be enough water in them to put the rivers up, you know. The rivers certainly aren't full, and this one has risen about 8 inches, I think, since this morning was the reckoning. So oh, here comes the rain. step. Slightly, slightly. So I'm nearly at the tail of the big pool now, and my mind's starting to turn to tea and bananas, and the fact that I give my last bonio to Rudy Dog, and Jem Dog might soon visit here, because Jem Dog sometimes attends about 5 o'clock with a view to acquiring a bonio. So we'll have to see how that goes, because there could be an altercation should we get here and discover that there isn't a bonio. So we could have a developing bonio situation. Fish often lie over on that, just on that other side. It's like a bit weedy. I don't know if you can see that. And sometimes they'll chase the fly out. Now, I've never managed to hook one of the ones that chase the fly, but sometimes lobbing the fly over there and bring it back pretty rapidly that can be a good strategy, you know. Seems to encourage them to get mad. So I'm going to say that we've pretty much fished this out. All on a few fast retrieves, perhaps, just to see if we can encourage something. So I think I can reasonably retire to the facilities and apply myself to the tea and banana. But I might fish down it again later after the tea and banana. I think this might be the arrival of Jem Dog. Is it? Oh, I can't detect. I was told if I waited here until 5 o'clock, Jem Dog would come and see me. No, I don't think it is Jem Dog. Because it must be near 5 o'clock. No, she's not going to be late. Oh, it's not Jem Dog. I've had my cup of tea now, and I'm just coming down this for the second time, a quick wee cast, and I saw somebody come across the hill there, and I thought maybe it was Jem Dog coming to see me, but it turned out it wasn't. It was an interloper. So, but he's since gone again. But he was saying that Jem Dog may not be coming today because of other arrangements. So this is disappointing. Though gives me time maybe to acquire a bonio so that I'm prepared for the next time. It's important to have priorities when you're out here. This is such a good height. I really am surprised that we're not at least seeing fish. And there have been a few people down this today, and you know, people who are good anglers, people who, if there's a fish here, they'll stand the best chance of getting it, you know. And as far as I know, nobody has had anything today, so just been one of those days. But there are definitely fish in here, and it's surreal how you can stand here and see nothing. You know, I mean, this looks completely dead, and you actually have no idea how many fish might be in it. I mean, maybe they've moved on up, moved through, but there certainly were plenty of salmon and sea trout that came in. And you can't help but think that, you know, a proportion of them are in here watching my fly coming and going and thinking, not interested in that, no idea what that is, you know. That looks like another wee shower of rain coming. Put the hood up. Mm-hmm. Down on where we step. So, did you see the wee tiny fish jump out of the water? Now, I'm pretty certain that that happens because a bigger fish disturbed it. And I don't know if you saw, but there was a sea trout just rolled over my line there. I think it was a sea trout. It looked like a sea trout to me. So I'm going to bet that that sea trout disturbed the wee fish. hoping that I have enough to clear the edge of the weir. Yeah, I think I do. Just about, so I'd say that fished in pretty close under the weir. So I think that'll do me for today. Time to head for home. There's definitely fish here, but nobody's catching today. Though people have in the last few weeks been catching, good numbers, especially of sea trout. But more importantly, Jem Dog didn't turn up for her 5 o'clock appointment. It's now after 5 o'clock, and I'm going to have to go home. She obviously heard that I had given away the last of the bonios, and I suspect that's her priority in these matters. So, an interesting day out, and that's me quit.